back here with us on Overdrive. Now, Tesla cars worldwide are known for their technological prowess, and the Model Y is the car they decided to debut with in India. So, we decided to drive it in Mumbai city to find out just how well it drives in Indian conditions.
So far, the iPhone has been your go-to status symbol to show that you made it in life. But thankfully, that can change now because the Tesla Model Y has finally launched in India. Now, that should be reason enough for you to want to get one, but it also helps that it's priced well. But either way, I need to put food on the table. So let me tell you what the Tesla Model Y actually feels like in the best that Indian roads have to offer. This new look for the Model Y drawn from the Cybertruck gives it a clean, neo-futuristic vibe that's quite different from anything else you will find at this price. It's not flashy in the traditional sense, but it does have size on its side. Surprisingly, the sharp low nose doesn't have a Tesla badge on it, and even the lighting and surfaces are devoid of much flash or aggression. Now the Tesla Model Y gives you a massive 116-litre frunk. I think that's probably one of the biggest in this segment. But what that means is you can carry a good amount of stuff in here. Of course, you can carry a few backpacks, but even a small trolley will fit quite easily, and it's good practicality. You have these ridges here so things won't move around too much, and even a small drain plug. So if you're carrying, say, wet clothes, or you just put some ice in to chill a few drinks, whatever you want to do, all of that is possible right in here. In profile, the Model Y's aggressively arched roofline is quite noticeable. The dark 19-inch wheels are chunky, and the design goes with the futuristic sense of the car. You might think of the Model Y as an SUV, but ground clearance is 167 mm, a bit less than what you might expect from one. So you still get a flat, sporty stance. One of the most striking design elements on the Model Y is the indirect light bar at the rear. It looks posh and is an innovative trick to stand out. The duck-tail spoiler on the high boot seems to be there for aero efficiency. The rear light cluster has that modern 3-dimensional look to it, and the chunky bumper adds some presence. Now the Model Y has an absolutely massive 938-litre boot. As you can see, this is with all 5 seats up. It's fully flat. You can put, I guess, more than a weekend's worth of luggage here. But here's this fun part. There is another sub-space here, and you might be wondering what I'm carrying. This is the cover for the boot, and that fits perfectly in. So that hassle has been fully dealt with, and this space itself will hold at least a couple of trolleys. So space is not a problem, and if even that wasn't enough, you can power fold both these seats down fully and get up to or more than 2,138 litres. Now with this whole minimal theme that you get from a Tesla, it really comes through when you sit inside this cabin. You have this panoramic view out. There's very simple shapes. The dash is nearly flat. You have sharp edges. There's literally not a button in sight aside from the few that you have on the steering wheel to control the absolute most important functions. This whole thing is an air vent. There are no separate vents, and the way it's sort of integrated in is really quite nice. The centerpiece of the Model Y's cabin is the 15.4-inch touchscreen. Its size is now par for the course, but few rivals can match how deeply you interact with it. Nearly all of the car's functions are accessed through here, right down to the drive selector. Yes, it can be overwhelming at first, but you quickly realize that this is one of the more fluid, intuitive interfaces you will come across. Display is rich and responsive with the menus logically laid out. While driving, the most important functions are within easy reach. The live vehicle graphic holds some common controls around the car, although we wish the climate controls were in a larger fixed panel at the bottom. The lack of a driver's instrument cluster is a bit disconcerting at first, but greatly improves visibility, although a head-up display could have been a good addition. The front seats are impressive. You have great contouring and thigh support, and unlike the rest of the Model Y's controls, the seats have the usual physical adjustment buttons on the sides. The cushioning is quite soft, which we hope won't affect long-distance comfort. It's India-ready with a strong ventilation and heating functions. You get 2 Type-C chargers in the front, and the large door bins continue with the practical sense. An odd trait in the Model Y is that you adjust steering and mirrors via the scrollers on the wheel. Thankfully, the steering wheel is traditionally shaped and not a yoke as in the Cybertruck. Also, you get an indicator stalk and not buttons on the wheel for it. Here's a look at all the features the Model Y offers. The India-spec Tesla Model Y will not get full self-driving, but will come with the kind of level 2 ADAS features we are accustomed to in this segment for an additional Rs 6 lakh. These will be rolled out via updates once the cars hit the roads. Safety is a strong Tesla attribute, with the Model Y scoring a high score 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Now the Model Y is based on a born electric platform, and of course you have a lot of efficiencies, and it really does show in the backseat. Now the 2890mm wheelbase, that's quite long for this segment or this size of car, and a lot of it has been put into creating a nice space here. Now yes, this is the dark cabin. It does sort of make you feel a little hemmed in, but you can pay extra to get that all white cabin, which I think will add to that sense of space. But anyway, as it stands, this massive glass area and these quite large windows, they give you that sense of openness that you get in the front as well, so that helps. As you can see, I have a lot of place to just tuck my feet in. These seats are pretty high up, they're placed pretty high up. A good deal of knee room. These seats are set to my driving position. And I also must say that these seats, they have this soft, cushy feel to them. I don't know how they will be over a longer journey, but as it stands, they are nice and softly padded. I also get this recline function, and as you can see, I can really stretch myself out to a good extent. Now coming to the kind of amenities you have here, you have this 8-inch touchscreen, and you can do a load of stuff in it. You can play a lot of the games such as Beach Buggy, Fallout Shelter, all of that you have here. You can play a lot of your YouTube, Netflix. You can even connect Bluetooth headphones to it, so that's going to be fun for whoever's sitting here. Other than that, you have your AC controls. Even the vents here are controlled right through the screen. You have your seat controls to fold these seats. Even the recline function can be done with this, and this is a heated seat, so you have that function as well. Tesla is famously secretive about its car specs, although it has revealed that this Model Y rear-wheel drive has a 500km WLTP range. In our short time with it, we think over 400 kilometers can be easily expected in urban conditions in the real world. It seems like this rear-wheel drive variant is fed by a 63 kWh battery pack and can accept up to 175 kilowatts of DC fast charging. Tesla will set up its supercharger network over time in Mumbai and Delhi first, eventually expanding into other cities. The Model Y uses a CCS2 plug in India, so it should be compatible with existing charging infrastructure. An AC wall box will be provided for home charging, where the Tesla charges at 11 kW. Now the first thing that strikes you as soon as you start driving this Model Y is just how quiet it is on the inside. It's a loud, noisy day, as it usually is in peak Mumbai traffic, but you seem to be sort of cocooned from it really quite well. This is just as good as, or if not a lot better than, some of the luxury brands that Tesla is competing with in our market. Not having an instrument cluster is a bit odd at first, but you soon get used to the screen readout that falls in your broader line of sight. Tesla doesn't quote power or talk numbers, but it is understood that the Model Y rear-wheel drive makes 299 PS and 420 Nm. Tesla has said that the rear-wheel drive will do 0 to 105.9 seconds, which makes this quite a brisk car for our roads. You do get 3 steering modes as well: light, standard and heavy. Now the light mode I think is best suited for very low speed parking maneuvers and so on. The standard mode I think is the sort of default go-to mode, where it adds a bit of heft. Now the steering could have done with a bit more precision. It's quite dead on center, but it seems to weigh up aggressively as you turn in. Now for this India-spec Model Y, Tesla has worked on tuning the suspension to our conditions. It runs on 19-inch wheels, and yes, as you might expect, there is a bit of firmness, especially on the kind of uneven surfaces that we usually have in our cities. So while it can get a bit noisy at times, you notice that the car itself remains largely level. It's not jarring, it doesn't sort of come through into the cabin. So in that sense, especially with that great sound deadening, you have that sense of being cocooned in a space, exactly like how you might want in a luxury car, which makes for a nice elevated experience. Priced at Rs 59.89 lakh onwards for this base rear-wheel drive version, the Tesla Model Y seems to make sense in its segment. Yes, it charges a premium, but you get a fresh, smart experience in the cabin, equally smart looks, and a tech package that seems as well sorted as you might want in a car. It could have had slightly more direct steering, but is comfortable, refined, and offers a kind of elevated, tech-forward experience that reminds one of another piece of high-quality equipment, the iPhone.
Well, with that, we've run out of time on this week's episode of Overdrive. But remember, you can stay in touch with the team through our various social media platforms. You can write to us on YouTube as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, drive and ride safe.